Hi, Carter Dewey, Mixed Networks. Hope you're doing wonderful today. Here to talk a little bit about the assisted living vertical and what we're seeing in that space. There's approximately 30,000 assisted living communities across the United States, of which a lot of them are heavily dependent on traditional copper POTS lines. They're being used for some medical equipment like Life Alert, being used for elevator, emergency phones. Some cases, a nicer facility will have a pool phone, but certainly fire and burglar alarms. So you're seeing 6 to 8 lines per community. And so there's a really strong ROI for moving those lines to a technology like ours. You know, our technology is UL 864, so it's compliant with the National Fire Protection Association. It meets the requirements for regulatory use on life safety lines, including elevator and emergency phones. Now, where the rubber hits the road is the actual ROI. That's what I'm here to share with you. So I've got this little calculator. I have the pods cost at 150. We're seeing between 100 to upwards of 1,500 a line for these pods lines, but let's just call it 200. So let's go down on this a little bit and say somebody's paying 120 a pods line. That's their current cost for a copper line. Phones per location, let's say they have 8 lines, maybe 2 or 4 for elevator, 2 for the fire panel, 1 for a fax machine, and maybe 1 for an emergency phone. Number of locations, let's just say 1 location for this exercise. Here's our cost. This is our MSRP somewhat. So depending on the deal size, that will vary. The contract term, it could be 3 to 5 years. So we're going to go with a 5-year agreement because it locks in your rate for those 5 years. And if you've been watching, those POTS lines just keep going up in cost. Very simple math here. Currently, on the copper lines, it's 120 times 8, $960 they're paying for that phone bill. Now, our proposed offer would be the $39.95 times the 8 lines, plus $35 for the maintenance and data plan. So you're coming in at $354.60. Monthly savings for that one facility is a little over $600 per month. You multiply that by 12 months times the 5 years, and you're getting a savings of $35,000 for 1 location. You bump that up to 10 locations, all of a sudden we're just at over $350,000. It gets significant. Larger facilities, and we're going to get even more aggressive on the pricing. Say you've got 100 of these, put the 100 in the wrong spot. We're talking real numbers. Would love to have this conversation with you and actually work with your community and plug in your numbers and find out, if we can help. Plus, with the sunset of the legacy copper infrastructure, it's an issue that you're going to have to deal with at some point. Greatly appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.